Wendy Thomas, coming to you from my home office in Chicago, Illinois. And today I'm going to be talking with real estate agents and investors regarding how to properly escalate a short sale. And this is going to be part 1 of 2. And part 1, we're going to be talking about what you need to know before escalating. So let's be serious for a second. All you negotiators know that being a short sale negotiator can be very tough and rough some days, or maybe even most days, and yet rewarding on other days. But not everyone can fill these big shoes. But for you negotiators out there that are actually doing this, and you're doing a great job at it, and so kudos to you. But let's talk for a minute about escalating short sales. You know, before you escalate a short sale, it really helps to check your attitude. And as I mentioned, negotiators can be, or not negotiators, but negotiations can be rough some days. And some days you might even be so irritated and frustrated and angry that you can even find it difficult to breathe. Well, why? Well, because some bank short sale negotiators have that kind of effect on you. Files can go on for months, they can go on for years, they can even go longer than a year. You submit paperwork after paperwork after paperwork. You have maybe a traditional short sale, but the bank thinks that you're working with a half a short sale, and bank is getting your file mixed up with the other 500 files that they have sitting on their desk. Maybe the bank has implemented some new policies, but yet nobody knows what those policies are, it's not even the bank. Maybe you've reached a bank employee who has a God complex. Maybe the value that the bank came back with and your value is way off track. Maybe the bank has missed another deadline to your file. Your calls aren't getting answered, they're not getting returned, your file seems to just be sitting there. Bank seems to lose every kind of documentation that you send them, and now you have a new negotiator because your old one quit. So that list can go on and on and on. So we see your frustration. So you don't want to transfer that frustration and irritation to your sellers or your buyers, because they've got plenty of reason all by themselves to be hostile in these types of situations. So don't help them feel any worse than they already are. But it's very important that the parties in this transaction respect your ability and your professionalism. So you don't want to convey any sort of a sense of insecurity or loss of control to anybody. And you really need to rely on who you are as a person, because you might actually be the only sane person in this transaction. So don't let your frustrations get to you or show. Be that rock that the seller really needs you to be. Maybe make a change in your voice if necessary. People like to deal with easygoing and polite individuals, so you don't want to give them any trace of irritation that even sneaks into your voice. So maybe a few tips to consider is think about something funny, or maybe a funny incident that happened that made you laugh. Just relive that experience. Maybe go out in the yard and scream to the top of your lungs. I've done that a few times myself in the past. Or maybe even just sing your favorite song, something that puts a smile on your face. Maybe call a friend who cracks jokes all the time. Tell them, hey, just tell me a joke. I need to get in a different frame of mind. Or maybe even go to youtube.com and type in videos that make you laugh, and then watch them and then laugh out loud. And again, this really puts you in a different frame of mind, so that when you call the negotiators, you have a different type of attitude going into that call. But remember, don't lose sight of why you're working on this file. It's for the seller who's in a bad spot financially and they're losing their home. So thankfully, though, we have a process called escalation, and it can be used to express concern to upper management within the bank. And escalation is a matter of just really going up the chain and finding someone that can help you, and that you can find someone to discuss the details of your transaction. But we're going to be talking about this more in part 2, so stay tuned. And definitely in part 2, we are going to be discussing what you need to know during escalation. So stay tuned, and I look forward to talking to you about and continuing this conversation. Hope this was a great tip for you.